Meanwhile, Fernando Tatis is back in the Padres rotation. I got to bring this up to talk about because sometimes we make announcements and we don't want to appear wrong. We don't want to be criticized for saying something too early, prematurely. So we double down. We do this as executives and presidents and owners and GMs because of you and because of our insecurities and us wanting to look as good and smart as possible so we can prove to ourselves that we're better equipped to do this job than you are, even though you spend your days telling us that you can do our job better than we can. What a weird job that is that we have, that everyone around us says they can do it better. And in many cases, they're probably right. Though winning your fantasy baseball league does not mean that you can be a GM, might I add. Well, maybe. Nah, I'm just kidding. AJ Preller, one of my faves, had said that Tatis is only going to miss 10 days for his non-surgical required partially torn shoulder labrum. He's been swinging a great bat. He looks great in BP. They're playing the Dodgers this weekend. And it turns out that the Padres are looking to activate Fernando Tatis for today's game against the Dodgers. How do I know this is the right move? I don't. How do I know it's the wrong move? I do. The reason I know it's the wrong move is that when you have a non-throwing shoulder torn labrum, it is easy for the player to convince the training staff, the medical staff, and the GM and owner that he's good to go. And Tatis, having signed that $340 million contract, doesn't want to be injured. He wants to be there for his teammates, doesn't want to have season-ending surgery. Remember, we told you that he will have that surgery at the last possible moment so he can be ready for next year's spring training. But the Padres have, I don't know, Coke, are they still the second best record in the National League behind the Dodgers, who are already running away with the division? They're 11-2. It is extremely unlikely that they will ever catch the Dodgers. The Padres are now not the second best. They're apparently behind the Giants, who are playing over their weight class at the moment. In a long season, they'll be exposed. But the Padres believed, by the way, oh my God, I just had a thought, Coco. We didn't talk about Blake Snell. We didn't talk about the fact that Blake Snell was taken out of the game early by Tingler and lost his mind. He was having like memories of his time in Tampa. Anyway, San Diego's got some issues. And what they're trying to do is bring Tatis onto the field prematurely because Tatis has convinced them he's fine by having good BP. I learned this over and over again during the course of my career. The correlation between a good BP and being ready to play in games is de minimis. The correlation between having a good bullpen, a good showcase when you're an unemployed pitcher, and having success at the big league level during an actual game, that correlation is de minimis. But we all believe what we want to believe. That is a common thread that doesn't just wind and weave its way through sports. It goes through your personal life. It goes through your professional life. It goes through everything. You want to believe what makes things easier for you, what makes things better for you, what gives you less confrontation, less agita, less anxiety. You want it to be true that Fernando Tatis is ready to go. So you look at a few swings in BP and you say, hell yeah. We need him against the Dodgers. It's a critical early season series. We got to show them that with Snell and Darvish and Machado and Tatis and Myers and Hosmer and yada, 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 that we can compete. And GTH. Not going to happen. Can you imagine how this plays out? Tatis comes back. His shoulder separates again, and then he has to go to surgery. Is that a problem for you? Is that a problem for me? It's not a problem at all. That's exactly the risk they're taking, and they know they're taking that risk, and they're fine taking that risk. That's the most amazing thing about how we deal with player injuries is we calculate our risk tolerance, and it's based on recovery once the injury requires surgery. It's based on where we are in the season. It's based on our record. It's based on our delusion of grandeur regarding winning a ring. It's based on service time for other players, contract status for other players. All these things go into the pot. And you stir it around and you say, we're bringing up Tatis and we're going to let him play. And we're going to cross our fingers and we're going to hope that it works out. The irony is when it doesn't work out, all you do is meet the media and say, Fernando Tatis will be undergoing season-ending surgery tomorrow. We are very disappointed, but we tried to rehab him. We tried everything we could to get him back, but it just wasn't meant to be. If Fernando Tatis comes back and plays the whole season, never has injury, never has surgery, and the team makes the playoffs, you get to say to your owner during bonus time, we did the right thing. We're sending out season ticket and playoff invoices because we had Tatis and he did not get hurt again. So that's good. What happens if you bring him back and he doesn't play well, but he doesn't get re-hurt? That's when you meet the media and you say, we've met with Tatis. We both agree that he is not able to perform at the level that he wishes he could perform at. We both agree, and we all agree, that he is not showing the type of player he is. So we have mutually decided to shut him down and fix his shoulder. So every possible outcome has a way to deal with it. That's how we run a team. We make the best decision possible for now, while taking into account what we may have to decide later. And we do it all with one thing in mind, that it's just business. It's nothing personal.